The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Attention Ditto Heads. Attention Bo Scouts.
Goes by the pseudonym Bo Snerdley.
It's time for the soul of excellence.
He is a radio host here in New York.
The Rush Hour is on the air.
Rush.
Now here's James Golden.
Help of the president's always needed. Your voice sounds a little rough. Are you feeling all right?
I feel great. I was shouting at people because they were stupid about something having to do with trade in a country, and I straightened it out. But I blew my stack at these people.
Help.
Of all the perverts in government, I'd say he's the biggest one, and quite frankly, it's not even close. On a semi-related note, the Epstein whodunit has been explained to me in exhaustive detail over the weekend, and I have changed my mind completely on the entire debacle, and I can assure you it's a debacle, total debacle. Many Americans are retarded, but many aren't. The non-retarded members of the public have shown tremendous resolve in demanding answers for an issue that calls into question the legitimacy of our institutions. Chimping, always chimp, that's what they say. If a large portion of your government can be directed to support nation-destroying policies because they're blackmailed, you don't have a country, you've got a problem. A big problem. Not even in the zip code of small.
Her life is in danger? Who's that?
Marjorie Taylor Greene, she says.
Marjorie Trader Greene. I don't think her life is in danger. Frankly, I don't think anybody cares about her. Okay, what about you?
Are you negotiating?
President Trump on a roll, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Monday edition of Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour, the fastest hour in American media. You know, I had a thought, ladies and gentlemen. Let me share this with you. Many of you who listen regularly know I have expressed in no uncertain terms my quantifiable displeasure with this Epstein investigation and with Republicans like Marjorie Taylor Greene, what's-his-face, Massey, Thomas Massey, Representative Massey, and others demanding that this get front and center. Princess Diana, over the weekend, pointed out something that I knew, but I hadn't brought to the forefront of my consciousness. It was just back there, and when she said it, it ignited. Of course, when do we get these explosions of Epstein? We get them around the biggest victories that the president of these United States is enjoying. And they rob those victories from the headlines. When the big, beautiful bill was passed, which is a massive piece of legislation, massive in its scope, massive in what it will do to help restore this country from Democrat Party fraud, corruption, and rule. That story was taken off the headlines immediately after passage by Epstein crisis number one. And for a week, it was nothing but Epstein, Epstein, Epstein. I was frustrated at the time. And then we get to the longest shutdown of government in American history. The very day that shutdown becomes old news, the very day that it is the shutdown is shut down, with a victory for President Trump because he did not yield, and for the Republican Party that did not yield, the very day that this should have been dominant in the news cycle, what did we get? More of this Epstein stuff. One of the two biggest fingerprint achievements, legislative achievements, that Donald Trump had in this term have been stolen away in terms of a news cycle by this Epstein business. Today, since the president has changed his mind on it, Thomas Massie is out gloating. Perhaps I'm winning too much. Some sort of remark like that he's the winner of all of this. If he is successfully primaried, he will become an asterisk. Much the same way Adam Kinzinger has become an asterisk. Much the same way, Carlos is looking at me. Who? Kinzinger. He was the big Republican, always damning Donald Trump. Gone. He buddy of Liz Cheney, who herself has become an asterisk. And Thomas Massie is headed into that if he gets successfully primaried. And there was another one. He just resurfaced the other day, a flake. And people barely even remember him. Another one of these strident anti-Trump voices that became an asterisk. But the funny thing that I'm thinking of today is that, and it tickles me to no end, is that this could actually be the biggest single backfire that the Democrats will ever do in recent memory, even bigger than the government shutdown, which was a backfire. And I'm starting to see hints of it. Here are some of the hints. One of the hints is not in news coverage, it's what's not covered. The Republican Party, in the House, the House Oversight Committee released 22,000 pages. 22,000 pages of Epstein stuff. Have you seen them eagerly reporting everything that they find on a daily basis, combing through these 22,000 pages? No. Surely they have teams of reporters and reporterettes working late nights in closed rooms, ordering out for food because they can't stop. They are riveted, examining each and every page, and yet we see nothing of those 22. Well, that's not quite true, James. We have seen two things that emerged from those 22,000 pages, but we don't see them splashed all over the mainstream press. Not as the lead story. One is what happened with the delegate from Virgin Islands, Stacey Plaskett. Stacey Plaskett, we talked about the story last week. Stacey Plaskett was found to have been conversing via text with the notorious, infamous scoundrel, Jeffrey Epstein, during a congressional hearing. While it was underway, Michael Cohen, the fixer, Trump's guy, was testifying. And there was Stacey Plaskett on her phone with Jeffrey Epstein, who was commenting, by the way, on things as how she was attired, as well as suggesting lines of questioning apparently for her. And that news story came and it went. No fair. Watch it. I didn't see it splashed all over the place. There's a little story from the StThomasSource.com. Yes, my friends, I dig it out everywhere. Her hometown paper down there, the StThomasSource.com. Plaskett responds to Washington Post story on Epstein records. And they report, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, prints up to 3 pages. Plaskett's office did not answer the Post questions about whether she was the unnamed recipient of the text, but pretty much they make it clear that it tracks with the questions she was asking, et cetera, et cetera. But her office was contacted. And the office gave a response to the St. Thomas. Source.com. And that response was this. During the hearing, Congresswoman Plaskett received texts from staff, constituents, and the public at large. I didn't know the public at large had Stacey Plaskett's phone number. It would seem to me she would want to keep that phone number kind of private. Did you know that Stacey Plaskett had suffered a phone hack a few years ago? Naked pictures of her, naked, were put on the internet from her phone. You can't find the naked pictures of her now. They've been scrubbed from the internet. But naked pictures of her were plastered on the internet. I know because I read the news stories about them today. And it turns out after investigation, Capitol Police arrested 2 of her staffers for putting up naked pictures of their boss, ex-boss, on the internet. That's a brief aside. But so I would think after her naked pictures were put everywhere, that maybe Stacey wouldn't be giving her phone number to the public at large. But her office says she did. During the hearing, Congresswoman Plaskett received text from staff, constituents, and the public at large offering advice, support, and in some cases partisan vitriol, including from Epstein. So they acknowledge, yeah, it was her texting with Epstein, but she was also texting staff, constituents, and the public at large. As a former prosecutor, she welcomes information that helps her get at the truth. The Congresswoman has and that's pretty much her statement, except that she's made statements about with her disgust over Epstein's deviant behavior. So you got that story. And then there's old Jamie Raskin, another Democrat. We're learning about something with he and Epstein today. But the clock, my friends, is ticking. And I want to keep proper time management here so we're not rushing through the second segment of our program, our busy, fast program. So what we'll do is take a break. James Golden, Snerdley, fastest hour in American media continues. Do not go away.
Rush. This is the Rush Hour with James Golden.
Snerdley.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
James Golden, known popularly as Bo Snerdley.
This is the Rush Hour with James Golden.
Rush.
I'm in Stephen King land now. Stephen King has been out there, he posts stuff, and then later on he has to retract it, and he says, oh, man, I didn't vet this one. And I sit there and I laugh at it. I'm in Stephen King now. I played an audio bite, and Princess Di alerted me to it, and I said, oh, my gosh, it's probably AI. Because at the end of that bite, he did say he's releasing all the files, and that's why I thought it was just... But then the rest of it, the retarded business, Trump doesn't talk like that. Somebody added that using AI, and I played it. So I'm halfway into Stephen King land. He did say he's going to do it. But folks, I'll be more careful. I apologize. Can't be playing any IA stuff over here. I don't want to be Stephen King. It's a horror story. Anyway... Epstein. Back, since Democrats get fascinated with Epstein, let's talk Epstein for a moment here, shall we? Yes, let's talk Epstein. Representative Jamie Raskin, Democrat from Maryland, is facing a political firestorm of his own making after new revelations point to a disturbing breach inside the federal prison system and a questionable role that he may have played exploiting it. Now, this all goes back to Jizz. Well, depending on how you pronounce her name, they call her Ghislaine. I've heard it Ghislaine. I prefer to call her Ghislaine because it's spelled G-H-I-S. To me, that spells jizz. Not quite J-I-Z-Z, but close enough. Anyway, according to sworn statements from Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney, multiple female federal employees have been fired for illegally accessing her privileged attorney-client emails. And those emails were funneled directly to Democrat Jamie Raskin, who then claimed that it came from whistleblowers at a congressional hearing. That's what the allegation is. So you have Plaskett, and now you have Raskin, all being called into question over their dealings in this whole Epstein matter. My friends, this is just the beginning. This could blow up in Democrats' faces spectacularly. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
James Golden, known popularly as Bo Snerdley.
This is The Rush Hour with James Golden.
Rush.
Chuck Schumer's generation, Nancy Pelosi's generation, John Lewis's generation, they have so much to be proud of. It's time,
Spartacus,
though, for new leadership. The other generations,
like
X, millennials, Z, it's time for us to step up. The stage is waiting for us to lead.
We have dynamic young new leaders. Chris Murphy is a top leader. Cory Booker is a dynamic leader. Brian Schatz is a dynamic leader. I mean, Elizabeth Warren, someone whose ideology I appreciate. There are a lot of great talent. And really, is Chuck Schumer, when you think about it, just from a common sense test, do you think Democrats around the country think that Chuck Schumer should be the face of the future of the Democratic Party? Of course
Chuck,
not.
you.
We need to be more independent and truth-telling in this country and bold and not rest on niceties.
Think about this. Before Joe Biden was president, we had around 17 million Americans that were receiving SNAP benefits every month. Since Joe Biden was president, now we have 42 million people who are receiving SNAP benefits each month. And I say people because 59% of the people that are receiving SNAP benefits are illegal immigrants. Joe Biden allowed millions upon millions of people to come into America illegally, and now we are paying for them. 59% of all the people receiving SNAP benefits every month are illegal immigrants. So we as taxpayers are funding them, giving them money so that they can go and buy groceries each month. We want to help people here in America, like single moms, Americans who need a little bit of extra help every month. We didn't vote to take care of illegal immigrants, but Joe Biden, he let all these people in. The Democrats held the government down for 43 days because they wanted to keep funding illegal immigrants. Illegal immigrants are their way to continue to stay in office. Perhaps if we stopped taking care of illegal immigrants, maybe they would stay in their own country.
Maybe they would stay in their own country? Really?
I would like to say humbly, I'm sorry for taking part in the toxic politics. It's very bad for our country. And it's been something I've thought about a lot, especially since Charlie Kirk was assassinated, is that I'm only responsible for myself and my own words and actions. And I am committed, and I've been working on this a lot lately, to put down the knives in politics. I really just want to see people be kind to one another And we need to figure out a new path forward that is focused on the American people, because as Americans, no matter what side of the aisle we're on, we have far more in common than we have differences. Yeah. And we need to be able to respect each other with our disagreements.
Her life is in danger? Who's that?
Marjorie Taylor Greene, she says.
Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't think her life is in danger. Frankly, I don't think anybody cares about her. Okay, what about you?
Are you negotiating?
James Golden, Snerdley, fastest hour in American media with the Four Seasons. Let's see, my friends. I hope this is not another one. Now I'm suspicious of everything. Cut one. Let's hear more from our president. Hopefully this is not the Stephen King version, but I think this is legit, so we'll go with it.
And I've had personal talks with some Democrats. I can't tell you who they are. I just don't want to do that. It's not fair to them. About paying large amounts of dollars back to the people. You know, this was my idea. It came up during that. You know, oftentimes under times of stress, like the shutdown, you come up with great ideas that you wouldn't have thought of before. The insurance companies are making a fortune. Their stock is up over 1,000% over a short period of time. They are taking in hundreds of billions of dollars, and they're not really putting it back, certainly not like they should. So when I see this, and when I've seen this over the last pretty short period of time, I said, why do we just pay this money directly to the people of our country and let them buy their own health insurance? And, you know, I made that statement, and I made it a little bit cavalierly, but it sounded good. And everybody has picked up, including Democrats. And I am talking to some Democrats right now about doing that. People love it. We're going to take the money. Well, if it gets approved, we're going to take the money. We're going to pay it back to the people of our country to go out and buy health insurance. Now, they can put it in a health account. We can do it a lot of different ways. But they buy their own health insurance. They can negotiate price. And it's going to be locked, so they can't go out and buy a Cadillac. They can go out and buy health insurance.
Now, how this would work, I'm not quite sure. But let me tell you something. Getting the insurance companies out of the middle of health care would be great. Also, you know, this shutdown may have done some things, and the Democrats may not realize what a complete, big, beautiful boondoggle this was for them. Their own BBB. Big, beautiful boondoggle. Because people like the lady we talked to before, average people, are now talking about the SNAP and what's going on with SNAP. And they're becoming more aware. And you see people still on the internet bragging about how much they can steal from SNAP. Now the benefits are back. They're back celebrating. And some of these people clearly should not be getting government benefits. That discussion is happening in America. It is happening, and you see it happening over social media platforms. And more people are aware of that. More and more people are aware that illegal immigrants are using SNAP benefits. So there are a lot of things that are happening as a result of this shutdown. One of the other big things is Obamacare is now in the news for what it is. Before, when Republicans were trying to repeal Obamacare, they were up against a wall of people saying, but people really like Obamacare. Given what is happening with Obamacare now and these premium surcharges, all but a few diehards, and there are diehards. We have an example of one. We have an example of a diehard liberal. And I want you to just listen to her. But most people do not share the view. This is cut two, Carlos. Most people do not share the view that this woman has of Obamacare. In fact, what they're seeing now that their premiums, they're starting to get notice of their premium hikes. They're angry. This woman is one of the diehards. No matter what you say, she's going to be a diehard. Here you go.
I got my insurance renewal from Obamacare. It went from $211 a month to $965 something and change a month. So, won't be doing that. And then I saw Trump today talking about, we're going to take the money that we gave to the insurance companies and we're going to give it to the American people to counteract the horrible Obamacare. Why break something that isn't broken? Why fix something? You can't fix it. They don't have any better ideas. They don't have any ideas at all. This... this administration... Yeah.
What are you going to do with Karens? What are you going to do?
Did you get yours? How much?
Tell me. How much? And then she says, why fix? She just got through complaining. My Obamacare went up from $200 to $900 a month. Won't be doing that. And then I hear Trump saying he wants to take the money from the insurance companies and give it. Why fix something that's not broken? It's broken. Do you not even hear the words coming out of your mouth? Woman, they came out of your mouth. It's broke. Why fix something that's not? It's just they have terminal TDS. Princess Diana also sent me a great article. And she talked about it. It's from a psycho. Not a psycho. It's from a psychologist type. Explaining that his patients really do have this thing. TDS is a real thing. It is a real syndrome. This is not some political make-believe. It is a real mental health issue. And you just heard from one of them. Cut 3, Donald Trump on more... Wait a minute. Yes. On
we are correcting it. We have strong borders now. We have a great economy. The prices are coming down. The Democrats like to use the word affordability, but their affordability was terrible. The problem with the Democrats, they lie. They do it so well. They talk about affordability, but I'm the one that's getting the prices down. As an example, they had the highest inflation in the history of our country. I have it down now to a normal level, and it's going down further. Thank you very much, everyone.
Okay, now, quickly shifting gears. Let us visit Charlotte. Cut 14, folks. There are, if you haven't seen the videos coming out of Charlotte, it will blow your mind. People, the resistance is high down there. I need to check in with my friend Brett Whittable. He works down there at Charlotte. You know, what is happening in that market. And yes, so let's listen to the reaction from one visitor to our country on what's taking place in Charlotte.
I cannot believe that we have ICE agents here in Charlotte today that are actually taking people. And I am still in shock over it. I had to go get an oil change for my car, and it was on a road where ICE had been before, and I was so scared to even be driving around there because I knew that it was real. And I have a green card now. Like, I technically would be safe if they did stop me. However, that doesn't change the fact that, yes, I could be stopped simply because of my skin color. Because, like, they can literally just look at me and say, okay, like, maybe you're illegal. And that is so messed up. And I can't believe people voted for this. Like, people who voted for this are just, like, horrible. Like, there's, like, no other way to, like, there are other words to say it, but I'm a Christian and Jesus tells me to be better, so I'm trying my best. Even in these moments, my priority is my faith. But it is so hard to be in this situation right now. For those of us who have been undocumented, are undocumented, or allies of the undocumented community, like, this is a nightmare. Like,
and I heard someone else talking about this people of color business. I am so sick of hearing this. They're after us because of our color. No, they're not. Your color has nothing to do with your illegality. So when 20 million, so does this make sense to you? Let me just put it in terms, because I have some color. I have like brown thing going on. So I'm one of those, so do you, color. So let's say 20 million brown people like me decide we want to go to Iceland, which, there ain't that many. I mean, there's some, but there ain't that many, right? So let's say 20 million of us say, you know what? We can get over in Iceland. They give out free welfare bennies. They'll let us get on their Snap, Crackle, Pop program. We can get Section 8, 9, 10 over there, get some free housing. We can go work and nobody, blah, blah, blah. They have laws. You can't just come in, oh, screw the law. We're just going to go over there anyway. Screw the law. We're going to just get in the boat. We're going to do a reverse Viking number on Iceland. And we're just going to, they came over here in boats. We're going to go over there in boats. So we're going to do a reverse Viking thing, and we're going to invade. We're going to come over there, and then we're going to demand they take care of us. Now, let's say 20 million of brown African Americans decide they want to go to Iceland. Iceland looks up and says, the government there, foreigners, we can't afford this. And they say, we're coming to get some of you people and take you home. And then suppose my response to that was, why are you picking on people of color? They can stop me because I'm a person of color. No, it's not because of your color. It's because you entered the country illegally. And it's not my fault that they can notice you because you fit a profile. Nothing wrong with that. It's just incredible. Now, Supreme Court is going to be taking up Donald Trump's claim on asylum. This is bordering on, let me see how long this thing is, or can I explain it in short? It's quick. Here you go. Cut 13. Supreme Court's going to be looking at this. Pertains to immigration and all this business of asylum, especially as asylum was practiced or not practiced during the Biden administration.
From the U.S. Supreme Court, it now says it will take up the Trump administration's ongoing effort to limit immigrant asylum processing claims at the southern border. Now, the case centers on the definition of when an asylum seeker, quote, arrives in the U.S. Now, the administration argues that some arrive when they present themselves to an official at the border, even if that meeting occurs on Mexican soil. Keep that in mind now, on Mexican soil. A ruling expected by early summer of next year, so we shall watch that.
Yes, and do we have time for another 30 seconds? 35? No, we don't. Yes, 35. Okay, 17, very quickly. Folks, this is true. This is not an exaggeration, Senator John Kennedy. I just wanted to point this out. I thought it was good of him to recognize this, and this is what's happening.
We have to address the cost of living in America, the cost of housing, cost of health care, cost of going to the to the grocery store. You shouldn't have to sell blood plasma in order to go to the grocery store. We can do that through a reconciliation bill without a single solitary Democratic vote. They'll be welcome to work with us, but I know what they're going to say. They're going to say no. We don't need their votes. So we did that with one big, beautiful bill. Why aren't we doing it again? Instead, for 8 weeks, 9 weeks, 10 weeks, we've just sat on our ice cold, lazy butts and done nothing.
If you think that that's not happening out here, it is. People make about $85 a week, twice weekly, from selling their blood plasma. It is happening all around the country, folks. Wow.
I used to do it in college.
Used to do it in college. Wow. Amazing. James Golden, Snerdley. Whatever you do, don't go away. Fastest hour in American media continues.
Rush. This is the Rush Hour with James Golden.
Snerdley.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
It's the Rush Hour with James Golden.
Goes by the pseudonym Bo Snerdley.
Rush.
Now, here's James Golden.
We didn't even get to some of the things, as usual, that I want to get to. Bill Maher gave a great lesson on socialism and capitalism that we're going to revisit tomorrow, along with whatever else is in the news. God willing, we're here. We're going to leave you with one of my favorite songs of all time. That's Gordon Lightfoot, one of my favorite artists. Canadian singer-songwriter, born on this day in 1938, passed away, aged 84, May 2 years ago. Brilliant. This, of course, his big hit. If you could read my mind. Anyway, we got to go. Fastest hour in American media. May God bless, protect each and every single one of you, your families, and your loved ones. Love and gratitude always for your being here with me, allowing me to be with you. God willing, we're back tomorrow. Until then, I bid you adieu. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. You can hear Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour weekdays at 4 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?
If you're looking to create, grow, and sustain your wealth, download and subscribe to the Pain Points of Wealth podcast at BeBullish.com with Bob, Ryan, and Chris Payne. It's your podcast for market insights, money tips, and real talk on the economy.
Download and subscribe
at BeBullish.com.